the Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that He used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding Him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy, you're invited. Hey, oh, hey. I was on my way, felt the presence of your son every day. Every day, I let go of your hand, and now I feel a change. Close the door, fall to my knees, and I began to pray. Oh, help me, the cares of the world slowly pulling me away. Now I hear a voice calling me to the light, to the light. Still in the heart, so I'll discern wrong from right, wrong from right. I met a fork in the road, which way should I go? Which way to go? The Father sent me spirit, help me find, save me. Bible fell on the floor, open to the law, and I can't believe what I saw. I saw me sinning willfully.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Come on in.
Lord, I won't break your law no more. Send your son, open my door, open back to me. Oh, Father, please forgive me. Save me. He's calling me to the light, to the light. Still in the heart, so I'll know wrong Help me fire, come save me. Oh, oh, come save me.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Shalom throughout the four corners of the earth. I'm Elder Rawchaa of the Gathering of Christ Church, here with our weekly blog talk show. I think I see Sister Lucille in the chat, who says she missed the old Diamond Street family. And I'm going to tell you something, brothers and sisters. I feel the same, you know. Diamond Street. We didn't know how, we could take for granted the bond that happened on that block, 15th and Diamond. We could take for granted that time when family was still family, and it seems like everyone on the block were cousins. We all looked out for each other, and all of a sudden a dark cloud came on our block that we didn't even realize would decimate the community. Cocaine and crack. Everybody wanted in. Everybody wanted in from one house to the next, and we didn't realize at that time what they were targeting. But now that I look back, before the crack epidemic struck, which I believe now was strategic, I tend to appreciate that was the last of community. It was like we grew up on a block where everyone was family. We would sit out on the stoop. I remember those big radios, right? Those big radios. And we would walk down the street with those big radios, breakdancing, dancing contests, beauty pageants, the girls jumping rope and sitting there with that crooked letter stuff they were doing out of their minds. Brothers playing basketball. It was like, it was family. And when the sun go down this coming Sabbath, I'm going to try as much as I can this coming Sabbath to get as many of my old brothers that we used to be together on Diamond Street and around that area, get them together when the sun go down this coming Saturday. I'm going to try to get some of my old friends together and talk to them. It was like that street, 15th and Diamond Streets, was the nucleus. We didn't realize how deep or how important that particular block was, right, in Philadelphia. When they imploded that block, it's like the whole area around it from a 1 mile radius was affected indirectly. One of these days I'm going to do a discussion on some of what happened on that block, and let me tell you, if someone can put that into film, it's cinematic. And but I digress. Let's get into the broadcast. When she said that, I'm like, you know what? I miss the Diamond Street days also. Girls, on the stoop, getting their hair plaited and, getting ready, even though back then we didn't know that we were Israel, making sure we had our Sunday best on, going to church. And man, what a time. But I'm going to talk about that sometimes. We're going to talk. One day we're going to have a throwback conversation online, but I digress. It's time for us to talk this evening. I apologize for the tardiness. I was getting a lot ready, and also I just want to put it out there. I would be amiss. It would be amiss if I didn't mention that my heart, my prayer, and my mind is with my brother, Dwayne, one of the twins over in the UK right now, and he's getting hospitalized. And my prayers, I hope you all put your prayers out there for the family of UK, in the UK, the twins. And my heart is there. The brother's in the hospital right now, and we're waiting from moment to moment concerning his status. And I'm transitioning there because that was in my mind. And I really want to make sure that I put it out there that for the family in the UK, that I wish I was there. I'm sorry I can't be there right now. But, you know, I'm letting the family know over there. And of course, Gaja, everyone else over there knows that whatever the family needs right now, whatever the family needs, tell me and it's done. Okay, right now, whatever the family needs. If people have to stay in hotels, whatever the case is, stay there at the hospital. Just know that, you know, let the brother know that I know he know already that his extended family is with him in prayer, and we're going to be with him through the whole scenario. We're here. So make sure the family know over there, and I already let them know it doesn't matter what the expenses are. Let's make sure we do whatever we can to heal our brother and bring him back. And we pray that the Most High heal him. When I say bring him back, because right now he's, you know, they got him in ICU. And may the angels be there with him and bring him back to us. So, family, I want to make sure you all put your prayers out there, because he's one of the original pioneers, him and his brother from the UK, and their family. They are family. Okay? And I appreciate you all putting out your prayers right now. And I've been on the phone, and we're doing everything we can. All right. And it makes it tough actually doing the broadcast. But I know that brother, that all he did was the work, and he would want us to be in the midst of all of this, doing what brought him to the truth. All right. Him and his brother. And to know that he's being lifted up in prayer all over the earth, and he's being mentioned as a pillar in Christ's work right now. Okay. Brothers like that laid the foundation for hundreds, if not thousands, who have converted and came to the truth in the United Kingdom and beyond. And guess what? It's chronicled in the heavens. That's right. That's right. The twins, saints of the Almighty. All right. Prayers are up. And I'm going to check after the program, but let me jump in, brothers and sisters. Let's talk. Let's start talking. Let's talk. Let's talk. As you can see, the title we have for this evening's broadcast, and I will open up the lines early: Discerning the End Times. Now, discerning is a spirit within itself, right? It's like understanding beyond the surface. Knowing that something isn't right, and we must discern where we are in prophecy to be in the right place before it all implodes. It's imploding. And I thought that I would use tonight to give brothers and sisters an insight to what God said, the Most High said would happen in this earth at this present time with his people, and then show you geopolitically how everything the Most High said thousands of years through his word, the Bible, to show you how exactly how geopolitically it's taken place. Right? I'm going to tell you right now, brothers and sisters, Satan and his ministers are throwing everything, all of their satanic crap on the wall right now. But it's really smoke and mirrors. It's to have us look every other place we need to be focusing on, while they put the New World Order in place. Now, when the Bible talks about when people talk about the New World Order, that sounds general, almost conspiratorial. What does that mean, New World Order? Well, even those who don't believe in the Bible or conspiracy theorists always talk about it, but don't even realize prophetically what exactly is the New World Order. Well, the Bible makes it clear. What I'm going to do tonight is show you, according to God, what exactly is going to happen, according to the Bible, discerning the times. And then on the other end of it, I'm going to show you in the news today, that's right, geopolitically, what plans they have in place to bring forth the New World Order. And this will come from no other source other than one of many sources, the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum. Everything that they said that they were seeking to accomplish by 2021. At one time it was called Agenda 21. Well, brothers and sisters, the foundation has been laid. Everything that they are bringing forth, this is why I say watch these distractions, because it's nothing but smoke while they lay the foundation for this order. Now, what are the distractions, some might ask? Well, listen to me clearly. Listen to me good this evening. Any news out there or any circumstance that would have society implode on itself through conflict, through disagreements, through division, that's Satan's key weapon. It doesn't matter what side you're on with these arguments. There is no right. There is no wrong. Okay? What they're doing is causing division for social warfare to keep the majority of the earth, that's right, fighting, distracted. Male, female, man, woman, gay, straight. Right? Black, white, rich, poor. Sunny, hurricane. Order out of chaos. And you know what? I had to think about this. Why is it they're pushing things on society and they're putting billions of dollars behind that they know the majority of the system, the majority of the people in the earth won't agree with? Even if there's no traction, even if there's no one who would actually support the agendas they're pushing, why put so much money behind it? You'll put money behind a movie that's totally toxic knowing that the population of moviegoers isn't going to like it or will not support it altogether. And I'm thinking about this. It can't be about money because they know they're going to lose money with some of these productions. And folks, it have never been about money. Money is only a tool. Money is a defense for those who understand what it is, and it's a controlling mechanism for those who control the new world order. It's not about money for them because these are the people who make the money. And on top of making the money, these are the people who tax the people. Money is the last thing they're thinking about. They want us on the surface to believe, well, they're just doing this because they're greedy. No. This is greater. Folks, listen to me clearly. Listen to me clearly. The greatest, folks, the most valuable commodity on earth or currency on earth isn't money. It's people. It's people. They can change the currency from one currency to the next. They can drop the dollar. They can make it where this particular currency no longer have value and switch the monetary system. So it's not about money at all, folks. It's people. And what they are afraid of, and this is why they're throwing so much crap on the wall, they are afraid of us agreeing. They are afraid of us agreeing and realizing that the battle isn't along the lines they've created for the distractions. That's what they are afraid of. Because it doesn't matter what they put out there. Whether transsexual, gay, black, white, Jew, Nazi. All of these things doesn't matter outside of how it can be politically utilized to divide the people while they put a structure in place that would destroy us all. So we need to talk, because if we don't discern the times, eventually, folks, if we don't understand what's going on, guess what? If you don't discern it, you're not going to be in preparation to fend against it. Okay? So going forward, what I hope through this broadcast, Discerning the End Times, is that those out there who can discern and understand the times we're in will know that we're in a time where we cannot exhaust ourselves fighting every battle that's put before us. Because these dividing lines between man, woman, and everything, all of that is strategic. Okay? We must, that's right, reserve our spiritual fights for what's coming. And not spend so much energy on attempting to win arguments. Arguments that have only been developed through social engineering to pit one side against the other, while the New World Order is seeking to destroy everyone. So we must pick our battles carefully. And Christ have taught us how to do this. Everything doesn't need an answer. Every fight, or what appear to be a fight, doesn't need those who can see what it is to be included in it. Pick our fights. Strategically, discerning, understanding that we're going to need energy at the very end of this. to finish together. They've created all these divisive scenarios. And guess what? They put out these movies. I look at it. Listen, they knew that the woman king would offend black men. That's why they did it. So it doesn't matter if anyone goes to see it. The fact that it's offensive is why they're willing to lose money on the movie. Why are they putting out all this alternative lifestyle stuff that they know no one is supporting? No one is going to the movies to see it, and no one is actually, people are turning off Netflix and everything when they see some unrealistic scene dealing with some sexual behavior that we don't want to be a part of. But why are they still pushing it out there when they know there's no financial gain from it? It's to agitate us and to get us to do what? To extol much of our spiritual energy on fights that would do what? Exhaust us. And at the expense of down the line, not being able to fight the real fight, the spiritual one. So I said, you know what? Especially when you see what's going on with family, what's going on with the loved ones that we've lost throughout the years, the battle we have to hold on to the people we love. It's time to pick our battle strategically. Discerning the end times. Now, if I'm to discern the end times, I must first understand me as an individual and you also. Why were we born? What is the purpose God sent me here in such a time as this? And for those who don't believe in God, that's your choice. But even if you don't believe, and you believe that there's something great out there that's greater than us, because everything that we see beyond the firmament is organized. The sun in perfect proximity, the moon in perfect proximity, the stars, all of that is organized. There's more order on what we see on the outside of this than what's going on in the earth. So for those who don't believe, if you believe in the great organizer, and believe that great organizer that's beyond this chaos called earth sent you here, whether you believe he's a God or whether you believe he's part of the universe or whatever, why are you here? We spend our whole lives searching for meaning. We spend our whole lives searching for meaning. And I thank the Most High, in my life, I have found meaning. So it first starts, this is how we discern the times. We come to the realization, that's right, to why we're here. Why are we here? Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Elder Lawya, I need you to go to Isaiah real quick. Isaiah. Why are we here? Isaiah 49. Let's start there.
Yes, sir. Isaiah chapter 49, verse number 5.
Come on.
And now saith the Lord that formed me from the womb to be his servant.
Hold up. I said we spend our whole lives searching for meaning. For those who don't believe in God, there is no meaning for you. There is no purpose.
That's right.
You're just living. You're just living. To find God is to find meaning and purpose to why we're here. And it tells us that what? Read it again.
Yes, sir. And now saith the Lord, that formed me from the womb to be his servant.
To be a servant of God. See, it's deep when you come to a realization called purpose. Suppose you were specifically sent here by God for a specific purpose at this time in the end days. Suppose you came to that realization. Like Paul on the road to Damascus, killing and conspiring to hurt his own people, only to be met by Christ, blinded by Christ, and restored by Christ with a purpose. And Paul is the example to what? To show you that the Most High can use anyone. He could have used a totally righteous and pious person. Christ could have used anyone. But he chose a man that was destroying his people and put him on a path with purpose. He didn't choose the disciples because they were the greatest people. He chose them because they were what? That's right, brothers and sisters. They were malicious. They weren't perfect people. But when they found purpose, they stood in the purpose that was called. Listen to what the Bible is saying. Purpose. What is our purpose? Read.
And now saith the Lord, that formed me from the womb to be his servant.
To be his what?
To be his servant.
To be his servant. So that obviously there's a job to do here. Once the Most High have given you purpose, now you must stand in what? In the direction he's sending. He have sent you. You must now, that's right, study the show thyself approved. The manual gives you the instruction, the Bible, and then you must do it. And keep in mind, initially, everyone, even family, will think you are crazy. Your family, your friends, everyone out there will think you've lost your mind. And guess what? The Most High wouldn't have it no other way. He would have it no other way. You're the underdog. You're the outlier. Guess what, folks? You're the one whom the world will underestimate. But at the end, those same people, that's right, will behold the glory and the power they didn't see when the Most High chose you. He wouldn't have it no other way. You know why? Because if it was of the world, then people can point to the world and give credit to the God of this world. See? If it was something that they can ascertain within the parameters of this earth, they can give credit to something that's unexplainable. But the Most High does it a certain type of way. He'll have everyone reject you and have you go an entirely different path outside of this world altogether, and exalt you in due time so that no man on earth can take credit for God choosing his servant. What is the job of this servant? Come on.
To bring Jacob again to him.
To do what?
To bring Jacob again to him.
To bring Jacob back to our God. boy, man, I'm going to tell you, that's a surreal realization. When you begin to realize and say and think within yourself and say, you know what? There's nothing I've done to deserve any of this. But the realization is we're chosen. We were born to bring Jacob back, to bring Israel back. Before the Most High God sent us in the womb of the belly of our mothers, he knew us. He knew we would be doing exactly what we're doing. We came in the earth as infants. We grew through our teenage years with the direction and the course of this world, grew into adults, thinking of what we would become in this world, not realizing that there was a direction before we were sent. And see, to understand that finally, automatically, brothers and sisters, we know where now to pick our battles. Understanding the job description. See? The job description is to bring again Jacob. So Satan is going to throw many devices and all types of things and mundane conversation that would have nothing to do with finishing the battle. Now that I know I'm Jacob, I understand who the enemy is now. Right? Automatically, I understand the enemy. I understand we wrestle not with flesh and blood, and I understand Satan or Samael is the god of this world. He became god of this world when my father and mother, Adam and Eve, was tricked and lost all dominion that we must fight in the spirit to get back. The earth was given into the hand of the wicked. Satan became king of this earth, dominion over Adam, and guess what? The Most High would do what? He would curse Adam and Eve for that sin, and through that would have two seeds develop that would be in warfare with each other until Christ returns. That's right, the righteous seed and the serpent seed. Cain, serpent seed, pre-flood. Nimrod, serpent seed. The first Tower of Babel, uniting all nations against God's people. Babylon, Nimrod, Satan's seed. And at the very end, at the end of the world, like it says in 2 Ezra 6:8-9, Esau would become the new Cain. He would become what? That's right, the new Nimrod. And set up a Babylonian system to unite the whole world against Jacob, knowing that Jacob's time is near. See? So you have to realize it's not about money with them. Not at all. It's not about finances, not about being greedy. It's about social engineering a society like the Tower of Babel was constructed to bring all Gentiles together who are under Satan to stop the prophecy of Jacob rising. And I'm going to tell you this right now. We're looking at the economics, and I love a lot of the political conversations when it comes to uplifting our people and saying that we're not going to participate in their political game they've been playing on us until they give us something and all that. I've been stating this over and over again, but I know they're not going to give us anything. I know it. But I'm glad our people at least are politically waking up to not participate in their own demise. And the enemy already knew that we would finally realize that they were playing us. So we're under a political construct now that all of the elite realize they can no longer play games against us, and now they have outright set up, that's right, an international confrontation under one order to come against our people. And I'm going to prove that today. We must discern the times we're in. Read on, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Come on.
Though Israel be not gathered.
Though Israel be not gathered, even though we're divided. You notice it says, even though Israel be not gathered. Even though Israel is divided. See? Hence the reason politically why the enemy have come up with all these divisive conversations that they're paying to keep us from having the real conversation. Gay, straight, gender, pronouns, children, all this other stuff is a distraction, folks. It's about us not gathering, because when we gather under one agenda, one understanding, then we begin to come on code with one another and set parameters for each other. Mm-hmm. Okay? Instead of just judging you for your actions or whatever and looking down on you because you're not doing exactly what I'm doing. But if we can come together, we can begin to set parameters for each other. If we're going to live through this, then we're going to have rules on how we conduct ourselves one amongst another now. There's certain things you can't do. In order for us to come together as one, we must establish, that's right, a traditional foundation of family to withstand what's coming. Family is an extension of community. Community is an extension of nation. And it's not about arguing about who's right or who's wrong. And the example I can give you, women are doing this, men are doing that. Listen, if you are a man of the Most High, you're not going to accept a woman not doing what the Most High says she should be doing. So that's not your fight anyway. That's not our fight. Mm. If you are a woman of the Most High, you're not going to accept a man that's running around doing whatever he want to do out here in these streets acting out. That's not your issue. Your issue is to make sure that you get with a man that's right with God. So therefore, we can focus on the true fight. They finance the feminism side and they see, okay, men done woke up now. And when men begin to fight, men win. So they finance the feminist side first. Because they thought men would just be naive, but they knew one day men was like, hold up, we don't stop this. They're gonna kill all of them. Men are finished if they don't fight back, right? So then the enemy went from the female and say, okay, take all the money off of feminism, right? And let's put it on the men now. Let's have them win the argument. As long as they are divided in conversation, it will buy us time. We put all the money on feminism. It was tilted this way, but we knew the man was going to wake up for the sake of self-preservation. If the man don't wake up and fight back, he's done. So when the men begin to say, hold up, the world is unfair, let's put all of our chips on that side. As long as they're fighting one another, Jacob cannot be gathered. And as long as woman and man cannot see eye to eye, that's right, the next generation of children will be parented by the state. The New World Order will own the next generation. And that was the plan. So my job is not to argue on either side. As a servant, I understand that we must bring again Jacob, and we cannot bring again Jacob. We cannot bring Jacob again together without what? Family. So, we must pick our battles strategically, like Christ. Like Christ. Some people wonder why when people say certain things and they do certain things and they put my name in their mouth and do all things, people wonder why I usually don't respond to anything that's out there. You know why? Because that wasn't the fight I was born to fight. Okay? I'm not playing into an internet spat. We weren't born to battle each other with ideas and to debate each other with ideas to see who's more right than the other. We were born to bring again Jacob. So we're going to talk about discerning the times today. Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Let's get Matthew 5, Matthew 24, and we're going to show everyone exactly what our position is. Bringing again Jacob. To bring again Jacob. Right? In your Bible. And why am I putting this out there, brothers and sisters? It tells us in the day of judgment, when we stand before the Almighty who sent us, that each individual that was sent in the earth on judgment will not be able to utter a word before the Almighty. See, being able to explain yourself here in America and to get people to understand what you're going through and all that in conversation or discourse, it can only work here. But we will stand before the one who sent us one day and will not be able to utter a word. And on top of that, before us, our whole lives from birth, from heaven, when the Most High sent us, will be shown right before us. From the time he sent us through our father, into our mother, being held by our mother and father with family around. And our whole lives will be before him in judgment. Just like this. They're going to be just like this right in front of us. And on top of that, he's going to show us every angelic intervention in which he tried, that's right, to warn us of our actions. And he's actually going to reward us. He's actually going to say, here's an angel interaction, and you did the right thing. You heard my voice and heeded the call. And guess what? It's only going to be him speaking. Before judgment, we cannot utter a word. Because it doesn't matter what we do to try to convince people around us. When we get to ourselves, the realization of ourselves, our conscience accuses or excuses us. We know if we're right with the Most High. And we know what we should be doing and what we aren't doing. And guess what? That same thought that comes when we're dealing with everyday interactions and making choices is how those thoughts are going to be before the Most High. But guess what? None of us will be able to use our mouths. The opportunity to use our mouths is now. But how do we use it? Do we use our mouths to bring forth Jacob, or do we use our mouths to divide Jacob? Matthew 5.
Yes, sir. St. Matthew 5:1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain, and when he was set, his disciples came unto him, and he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are
the poor in spirit. These are they who believe, or probably would never have thought that they would. They never aspired to be anything. They've always been held down. They've always been marginalized, attacked. But the kingdom belongs to you. Satan strategically attacked people knowing their potential. See? He's afraid of what would happen if he didn't use the laws and others to suppress or keep you down. Some people believe because they're going through a hard time is because that God has a problem with them. No. Sometimes you're such a threat to this world, Satan attack you over and over again, trying to keep you down from assuming your position to take back Jacob's kingdom and to do what? Go into Satan's kingdom and take bricks, one brick at a time until his kingdom crumbles. So just because you get attacked or just because things aren't going right, it doesn't mean the Most High isn't with you. You're going through a test. Who can persevere against the fiery darts? Who can stand against all adversity and still win? And that's why I said one of the greatest divisive tools Satan used, and I say this all the time, is victimhood. To have us operate in this earth and always come off as victims to everyone, as you're defeated before everyone, and accept the position of weakness before everyone. Well, I can't do this because my parents wasn't around. Or I can't do this because I was bullied. Well, I can't do this. Guess what? You are accepting a defeated posture. You are accepting that. Don't come off as victims. Don't accept the spirit of victim. You are Jacob. You are the chosen people of God, running around claiming that, oh, I need therapy. I'm going through this. Or my childhood. Don't you know that Satan using your past against you? Making you believe that what you went through is who you are. You are kingdom people. No longer are we to walk this earth as victims so that the others can utilize us politically to financially aggrandize themselves. We don't need prison reform. The whole earth is our prison. We don't need college debt reform. Your colleges is garbage. Okay? We have to get out of this underprivileged status. It's a political tool to keep us divided and to have us like what? Dogs at the master's hand begging to be petted or fed. Read on. Elder Lawya, something happened to your volume.
Yes, sir. It's Lawya.
It's fine.
Yes, sir. This is verse 4 in Matthew 5. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted.
Come on.
Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth.
Blessed are the meek, for they should inherit the kingdom of heaven. You have to realize the Most High didn't pick Moses because he was the greatest man on earth. They tell you, he picked Moses because out of all men on earth, that's right, Moses was the most humble and he was the meek of all men. Okay, now don't take his kindness for weakness. That didn't mean he wasn't strong or a pushover. But he did not allow, that's right, he did not allow his emotions to rule him. Okay? He was always equitable. He would always listen and respond. He would deal in the spirit of meekness and understanding those that he would discourse with or even, that's right, collaborate or counsel with. He wasn't chosen because he was the greatest man. He was the meekest. He wasn't judgmental. He would work on the level of the people that he was amongst. And guess what? Everyone around Moses, when even him coming up in Egypt, because they liked him, was willing to give 100% with anything they took on with him, because they liked him. See, he was the prince of Egypt. You had one prince in Egypt who was heady, entitled. But everyone else, guess what? Nothing else can actually happen in Egypt outside of us, because why? The people wanted to work for our people. They were willing. It was like having a good boss, a boss you can respect, that isn't flaunting his position, is willing to get down dirty with you and put his hands in the dirt with you, and you know he's one of us. That's how Moses was. Right? Meek. Come on.
Yes, sir. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness.
After righteousness. These are people who seek what's right and won't allow peer pressure to turn them morally. They would rather suffer than be accepted. See? They would rather suffer than be accepted. Right? Not the peer pressure of the world or compromising your connection with God and why you were sent to satisfy others. Come on.
Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled.
Come on.
Verse 7. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
The people that have mercy, for they shall obtain mercy. Because you have some people, they'll see wrong and they're looking for judgment. They're looking to stone others as if you're any better.
Right.
They're looking to pass judgment knowing that they are worse than the people they're passing judgment on. No mercy. So that's the first position we must take when there's an opportunity to down someone or to destroy someone. The first position we should take is there room for mercy for this brother? Is there room for mercy for this sister? Read.
Yes, sir. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God.
The pure in heart. Outright good people. And that pure in heart doesn't mean that you're perfect. But when the opportunity presents itself to do what's right and help some other people out and be unselfish, usually this person makes the right decision. When it comes to what? That's right, extending something beyond themselves, doing something for others without expecting anything in return. A good-hearted person. I've met people throughout all my life, and I've prayed for circumstances because I've met people throughout all my life where there's nothing there's not one thing, brothers and sisters, listen to me clearly, not one thing the person did and didn't expect something back. I've met people like that. And it wasn't until through time that you come to pity that. Because all they're getting for their whole life is bartering and trading. And what they're getting is their reward in life. They'll never get more than what they're doing. And it's not that you feel upset about the person. You pity the person because they don't know how to do anything without expecting something back. And not realizing that's all you get. And you'll get a person, you have another person that's merciful and charitable and always giving without expecting anything. And all of a sudden, the Most High will reward that person in due time. And you're looking at them like, how did they get that? You know how they got it? They got it by giving. They got it by not expecting anything back. If you barter, you'll live a barterer's life. And you'll never see the gift of God, which only comes through charity and looking for something, looking to help others and not grandize yourself all the time. See, there's something else. I'm going to show you where I'm going with this. Read.
Yes, sir. Verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
Blessed be the peacemakers. These are people who's always looking for a solution so that we can actually be together, operate together. But then you'll have people who cannot live without some level of conflict. And the Bible, this is what Christ says, blessed be the peacemakers. A person that needs conflict in their life, they don't even realize the battle is not with all the people they're at war with. The battle is in them. That's why they can't have no peace. Because they haven't made peace with themselves yet. And that usually happens. You have peace within yourselves when the Most High meet you and give you a purpose, and you know each day you are working in that purpose. That's the peace that allows one to sleep at night. You don't have to fight and battle because at least every day, you know you're doing something to add on to that purpose when the Most High met you and gave you that direction. And I'm putting this out there because here's the mindset to unify the small percentage of people that will be here together at the end and who will win against this order that Satan has constructed against us? Come on.
Yes, sir. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
And blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake. These are they who don't have to defend themselves. See? If you know you're doing right and you're being persecuted and someone's coming against you, guess what? You're not fighting that fight. That's not your fight. Because if you fight, win, lose, or draw, that's all you get out of it. But if you're persecuted and you know you're doing right, but yet you're saying, that's not my fight, I'm not going to fight on this line or that line created throughout society, the Most High steps in to fight for you. Now you can just do what you were called to do. And that's a battle you'll win. Why? Because you have something stronger than yourself fighting your battle in your absence. But if you fight it, that's all the fight. That's all you'll get out of it. But if you let the Most High do it, no one can fight better than the Most High. He is a man of war. And if you're persecuted and people are saying things about you that you know isn't right and they know isn't right, you don't even respond. You're a servant of God, and they said more and did more against the Son of God who was called. Let the fight, put the fight on the heavens and do the work. And I'll tell you this, you will win. Don't let Satan cause you to carnally go into yourself to defend yourself. And now, what? You're in a small spat that means nothing while our people are getting decimated. That's a distraction Satan put out there so you can discuss this or fight that or try to defend yourself when the only defense we have is from the heavens. Let them speak against you. Let them say what they want. And guess what? You'll be exalted in due time, and the heavens will fight your enemies. Come on.
Yes, sir. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you.
Look at that.
Falsely.
Read that again.
Yes, sir. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake.
Look at that. That's another fiery dart Satan would try to use to get you off direction. If you know what the people are saying isn't true, why even look to defend it or try to defend yourself? Understand, folks, anyone utter anything before the Most High, true or false. If you say anything wrong or do anything or do false witness, all of that is before the Most High in judgment. And on the day of judgment, you will be silent, but your lies will resonate. You can't say nothing, but your lies in attacking and dividing the kingdom will represent you. Folks, I'm going to tell you how it is. The Bible tells you prayers go up to the heavens and the angels put it in a censer and it comes down like thunder. Everything in the earth is getting recorded. Everything, every thought, every word. And it's being stored on the real cloud. On the real cloud, it's getting stored. Everything Satan is doing down here artificially, he got from the heavens. That all data All actions, all words are stored on the cloud. So, brothers and sisters, understand when you are doing a work or you're doing something or you find your purpose, Satan is going to send mockers, talkers, haters. You are not to flinch. They're just divisive distractions. Why? Because you are on the right path to do something greater than yourself. And you wouldn't expect Satan to do anything else but to do what? To use his agents to come against Christ's servants. Come on. Elder Lawya, go down. Now let's go to retaliation real quick.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to 38. Let's go straight down to 38 real quick.
Yes, sir. St. Matthew 5:38. Ye have heard that it have been said, an eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth.
An eye for an eye, and a tooth for a tooth. Payback. See? That's what you've been told. We were told that in the law. Read.
But I say unto you, that ye resist not evil, but whosoever shall smite thee on the right cheek, turn to him the other also.
Look at that, folks. Folks, let me tell you, there's power in that. Let me tell you, I have had circumstances, brothers and sisters, where it was all in my mind how to articulate what to say that could actually resonate. Okay? And that's me knowing that I was in the right and that other person or other people were in the wrong. And all the words was given to me what to say. And I'm like, if I say this, game over. And that's what comes in my mind. But then the Holy Spirit comes in and say, well, if you say that, the heavens isn't going to take it up. Either you can win your little battle with your mouth or do my work with your mouth and allow us to handle him or her. Mm. And guess what? If one thing I can do, I can sit down with the frame of reference and break everything down and articulate it all the way through from A to Z. I can do that. I remember people said all types of things. And I knew people, right, who have done some things. And guess what? Everything was in me to hit play and go on YouTube and say, oh, you want to say this about me, huh? Check this out. But then if I would have said that, brothers and sisters, let me tell you, I would have lost the love of the children and others who respected me, who had nothing to do with any of all that. And then it wouldn't have came around full circle. Right? It's not about defending yourself all the time. And that's what we think. We think growing up, because people took advantage of us or because of this, that, and the other, now you have an opportunity as an adult. If someone says something, you got to, no. You were called as a servant. I remember I was about to hit play and about to just put it off, everything. And then the Spirit came and said, if you do that, you're no different than them. You're no different than them. Let it be. Be my servant. Use your mouth for what's right. Bring again Jacob. Bring again Jacob. Constantly reminded of why we were sent, why the Most High had us here in these times. It's not to have a spat and argument over with an individual. It's to finish for our people, knowing, discerning the times. Finish reading.
Yes, sir. And if any man will sue thee at the law and take away thy coat, let him have thy cloak also.
Look at that. They want to sue or take something from you. Oh, listen. Don't worry about it. Have my cloak also. Even if you're taxed or whatever, they try to take things from you, take it. Doesn't matter. The Most High will give us what we need to survive and to get through. Why am I putting this out there when it says discerning the times? Well, I'm about to show you prophetically what's going to happen. Elder Lawya. And then I'm going to break it down through show you real quick, through the World Economic Forum. I'm going to let you know exactly how they're going to geopolitically put this in place. And why they're going to put it in place, and who's going to be in position at the very end. You're going to find out right now. Discerning the times. And this means we're at a time where God's people must choose their battles strategically and intelligently. Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Revelation, the book of Revelation. I'm going to pull it up here. Show you where we're going. Now, first and foremost, Satan have to throw the smoke and mirrors out there first to have society implode in of itself. Man against woman, woman against man, man against child, all of that. Gay against straight, this, that, and the other, Jew, black, white, all of that. Why do they have to do this? Because they have to have the world befuddled and confused while they put the armies in place right up under us. This is a war, folks. There was not a time in this earth, brothers and sisters, there was never a time since Jacob fell that we were living in the earth, listen, without war. We were born into a war. And the war began when Esau sold his birthright, and then he lost the blessing. Vengeance is in Esau's heart, and once he got power, he would stay in perpetual war with Jacob. See, but a lot of us believe that war is just bloodshed. That war is straight World War I, World War II, bombs going off. No, Esau is the cunning hunter, folks. The best war Esau can wage is war he doesn't have to engage physically in. Psychological and biological war and financial war. Folks, financial war for Esau is more productive. Why engage you when he can have you go, when he can have you off yourselves? by not understanding or discerning the times. It's simple. The Bible says about sin, the wages of sin is death. Who know more about death than Esau, the cunning hunter? So he's looking at the biblical rules and saying, well, the wages of sin is death. If I can get the world or God's people to accept sin, that's right, they will off themselves. Because the payment for breaking God's law is death anyway. So I don't have to engage them. The only thing I would have to do is promote and incentivize their death. So everything God says that's right, I will promote and incentivize amongst his people. And use financial depravity, have them grow up, that's right, poor, to do anything to gain a way out. But to get that, that's right, the exchange for your financial exchange or your financial growth amongst Esau is death, sin. See? Now, eventually, there will be a physical engagement, but it's not like you're thinking. Because what y'all think you all are seeing throughout this earth is immigration throughout the earth. I'm seeing something else. You can think they're just moving around immigrants if you would like. It's to weaken the society, have them off themselves, biologically and otherwise, divide the world politically, and then bring in, that's right, the physical altercation last. Elder Lawya, let's get
Yes,
Matthew where it says nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Because Satan must fervent a what? That's right. A societal divide amongst the people. First and foremost, a societal divide. Let's read it.
All right. We're in Matthew chapter 12, verse number 25.
Read.
Yeshua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation.
Every kingdom divided against itself will be brought to desolation. Right? Think about it. Well, a kingdom cannot be built without family first. So Satan said, you know what we could do? Yeah. We can tell everyone there isn't no equality and that women are being treated unfair. And we're going to finance a world in which women can equalize themselves with man. Oh, that sounds like a good idea. Equality. Feminism began to tilt the scales or the balance of family one way. And then men was like, if we don't fight against this, we're dead. Child support, this, that, and the other. I mean, you can have no fault divorce where all of my finances, I worked all my life, and now it goes to a person who's now got another man in the house raising my children, blah, 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 blah. And now the man is like, if we don't come together and say something, we are finished. And then Satan looked at that and said, well, okay, the men of wicked woke up. We knew they would fight because they're warriors. Now, women are the weaker vessel. We're going to finance the men now. And we're going to let the people who operate intersexually in between, we're going to allow them to stoke the war from the women to the men. They'll be in the middle messing both sides up. A kingdom divided against itself cannot stand. See? That was Satan's political war to divide society. And this is why a minority of the population is getting financed against man and woman right now. So it has nothing to do with a constituency. It has nothing to do with the money going towards the majority. It has everything to do with destabilizing society. We'll have the woman win the argument, and then we were like, we'll put on The View. We're going to put on all these things. We'll put on Oprah. Folks, all of that was strategic so that now men would walk around with attitudes. And they knew men would eventually come together and say, you know what? If we don't stand up and say something, we're dead. There's a strategic war against men. And Satan was like, well, okay, when the men fight, it's over. Because they can logically look at a threat and get rid of it. Let's put all of our chips on the men to destroy the women now. We're going against each other, not realizing it's divide and conquer. Without these two coming together, the world is over and Jacob seek to exist. So a servant have to look on the outside of it and say, I'm not playing either side of this game. I've been sent by God to preserve Jacob, not to fight against it. Not to fight against him. Read it again.
Yes, sir. Every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand.
I need you all to hit that like button because I'm about to show you what the New World Order is about to do and what is the New World Order. The reason why they're throwing all of these different things out here that really doesn't mean anything, because they know no matter what societal changes happens, it affects more so the people on the bottom. And Jacob so happened to be on the bottom. So this is why they're throwing all this stuff out there, because they know at the end of the day, if the world catch the flu, if the world get a cold, we get COVID. We get corona. And if there's something, if whatever they put out there, it always affects the poorest people more so. And even when it comes to sexuality, whatever the case is, at the end of the day, they know that it will fracture and break the floor, break Jacob. So they'll put it out there and have other people sensationalize it, and we think that, well, it's a white thing or they know that we're going to follow suit and eventually get divided instead of standing together. So it doesn't matter what happens in society, it affects the poor more so. Right? So, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir.
Let's go to Revelation 13. Let me show people what's about to happen. Let's go to Revelation 13.
All right, from the top.
I need you to go start at the 9th verse.
Yes, sir. Revelation 13, verse number 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
If any man have an ear, what?
Let him hear.
Let him hear. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Let me pull you up here, Elder Lawya.
Mm-hmm.
1 second. Let me put it up here so that they can see it. What's going to happen, folks? You're going to know tonight. Let me pull you up here, Elder Lawya.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You and I are here. And
right.
I got the Bible up right here. The future of this world. Revelations 13, 9 and 10. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. If any man have an ear, let him hear.
If any man have an ear, let him hear.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Read it again.
He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
That's the future for the New World Order and those who control it, folks. They know that the Most High is going to turn positions. The more Jacob worked together to undo the curse by following God's law, it brings the Gentiles closer to their prophecy according to the book of Revelation. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And let me put this out there real quick. And I'm going to put this out there. Real quick, brothers and sisters. Why do you think in Ghana there's a castle that they have there on the shores that celebrates as one of the highest tourist attractions in Ghana the heinous crime since the beginning of humanity, and that in particular is the transatlantic slave trade? Why do you think that's there? As a monument that they're incentivizing themselves on. Why do you think it's there? You think any other race of people who suffered what we suffered would have allowed that castle to continue standing? Celebrating a time in which through political oppression, kings started fighting against one another, and then it was incentivized where the so-called European or the Edomites can now trade us as cattle. Do you think that if it was any other nation that have gone through that castle would have still been standing? But it's a constant reminder to us. That's right, folks. It's a constant reminder of our position in this earth. And that's what Esau want us to remember. Anyone with any level of a pride would have told Ghana, listen, tear that darn thing down. How can this become a tourist attraction? I would have expected if Jewish people went through something with Hitler, whatever, and he got a monument celebrating something, I would expect them to go and deal with that. Go deal with that. Have a constant monument to remind you of the suffering of your forefathers. You're going to incentivize yourself with that? Why do you think they allow that monument or that castle to continue? It's nothing to be celebrated. It's a shame. But guess what? The world powers incentivize that castle as a reminder to our people the status that we can look forward to. We can see ourselves in the future no better than the slaves who were brought through that castle. And when we as a people allow stuff like that to stand politically as an example of what happened to us, that says so much. That says so much negatively about us morally and spiritually and politically in this earth as a people, what we're willing to accept. But they want us, Elder Lawya, to remember that castle, slavery, transatlantic slave trade, because they understand their future. And I believe one of the greatest moments in this earth for our people, when places like that is crumbled to the ground as a reminder to the earth, that's right, as a reminder that we will no longer accept a defeated slave condition. And that we're looking forward to something greater prophetically. And when we begin to release the past, the Most High will speed up the future on the enemies who have always destroyed us. All that right of return and all this stuff they're talking. When you got a monument standing showing a place where our forefathers and our mothers in their own rags and blood, in rooms, died in chattel chains, being sold, not knowing whether or not they're going to see their family again. But that's telling people throughout the earth what we're willing to accept as a people. Not realizing that, take that thing, put it to rubbles, because that's not our future, according to the book of Revelation. Read it.
Yes, sir. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
See that? Because the Bible tells us in Galatians 6 and 7, you reap what you sow. And those who were behind enslaving God's people know that the tide is turning, politically and otherwise. We're starting to ask for something that they never thought we would ask for before. We're starting to talk differently now. See? I'm going to tell you. We're starting to talk differently, and they can see that. We realize that the answer to God's people has never been within this political structure. Hence the reason why Christ, the disciples, all of them, what they were talking about is something greater. It wasn't about getting down with Caesar. It was being a servant, bringing forth God's kingdom, so that now we, as a people, can now, spiritually and otherwise, dictate the terms for earth. So they're trying to stave off this prophecy. They know what's coming. And it's not about hating people. It's not about what you're going to do to people. It's the laws of the heavens. What you put out eventually come around. Come on.
Yes, sir. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
See that? It says he had two horns. I beheld another beast coming out of the earth. Now John is seeing an actual beast come out of the earth, but this symbolizes something. He had two horns, like a lamb, but he spake as a dragon. It's talking about our satanic system we're under, folks. But yet, when they speak, it's all politically correct. What I'm going to do for you and all of the good stuff like a lamb, but really we're dealing with dragons here. We're dealing with an evil intent against God's people. And when you look in Revelations 12, it tells us about that dragon who came after our people, starting with the fall of Judea, 70 AD, when they came against our people in Israel, took all of our gold from the temple to build the Vatican. So it's a political system on the surface that make you believe that they're for you. But they're always drafting laws that will keep us on the bottom. It's like a lamb, totally innocent, we're for you, but yet their legislation and what they're putting forth is to stave off the prophecy of Revelations 9 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. And you know who's going to do it? You know who's behind all of this? It has nothing to do with us, which is servants. The Christ Christians believe, that Christians claim they believe in. He's bringing all of this. Come on.
Verse 12. And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed.
Whose deadly wound was healed. Now, the first beast, which is the fourth beast, believe it or not, folks, was Rome. Rome's deadly wound was healed as America. And it make all people begin to worship the same religion as the Roman Empire, which is really Mithraism. That's right, a European version of the ancient Babylonian religion that helped enslave God's people, mentally and spiritually. Paganism, Mithraism. So really, they set up a system to make you believe you're free, freedom of religion, but it's really to pay homage and give honor to the kingdom who she's created out of, Rome. And it all goes back to Rome, folks. Listen to what we're going to show you here. Read.
Verse 15. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men.
And this is not talking about some antichrist coming at the very end to make fire come down and claiming he's God. That's Jesuit garbage. This is talking about the technology that was given to Esau to wage war on earth. Fire comes down, the Star Wars and all that we've seen during Desert Storm, Iraq, high technology. That's what it's talking about. During John's time, this technology was unheard of. So what he's seen was the future technology of fire coming down, nuclear bombs, intercontinental missiles, knocking down other missiles. He was seeing the future technology of Esau's weaponry. Read.
And he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live.
And now an image is just that. I need y'all to understand the image is like a lifestyle that's actually given to the world to accept as the status quo for families. If you follow this image and lifestyle, you're accepted. And if you follow this lifestyle, you're willing to do anything to do what? To continue in existence with that particular image. So they had to build a lifestyle where people would be what? Have a lifetime of finances invested in their lives to portray to the world a certain status. Something that people would die. A lifestyle they would die to continue in. So they had to teach us an image. So what did they use? They used an image projector, movies, TV, to teach us of a lifestyle, to have us desire, that's right, the lifestyle of this kingdom. See? They projected an image or a status or lifestyle that we would die to continue under. Therefore, when the choice is made, we would either choose this lifestyle for this world or choose the world to come. And that's where the financial system comes in at. This financial system was always set up as a form of control, knowing one day they would pull all of the currency out of the system. See? They would get all the earth's products under one power, under one government, to control all resources, and they would make it where you cannot spend unless you're willing to use, that's right, the mark of the beast for currency to keep your image up that you've worked all of your life to keep within this world. I'm breaking this down to its most elementary, minute level. They set up the currency knowing one day they were going to pull all the finances out, and it was going to be about sustaining yourself with the products if you receive Satan's last currency. And this is where the World Economic Forum comes in today. What John's seen is what we're talking about right now. In the academy, in the news, been prophesying since there's been a YouTube. We're living it, and we are about to experience it. Bitcoin was only a test run to have everyone except buying and selling, that's right, on the world market without, that's right, using currency. And they were able to bait everyone in by allowing people to invest in Bitcoin to make more Bitcoin, not realizing, that's right, folks, it was a test run for what? A world economy without physical, tangible money. That's what John's seen. I'm going to show you where it goes now. Elder Lawya, if you remember, years ago, 2009, we did a tour called The Path of the Mark, The Path to the Mark of the Beast. Remember that?
Right.
We walk together. We go into, I think, Virginia or DC, and there was a sister standing there. And I said, listen, the mark of the beast will soon come on the earth, and we're going to have to make a choice. Eventually, we're going to be in the wilderness. But what happens if there's a choice between what? You getting something implanted in you or your child eating? What will you do? And Elder Lawya, what did that sister say?
She said if it means her being able to get her children food and diapers to take care of her family, she don't see why her God would have a problem with her getting a microchip or getting something implanted in her.
The sister said that, quote, unquote, brothers and sisters, that before I see my child starve, I will get whatever the government is giving. And there's no God that's gonna damn me to hell for making sure my child eat. To maintain an image. When the Most High said, listen, examine the birds, the fowls of the air. They don't work anywhere. But every day the Most High makes sure the birds eat. How much more ye of little faith?
Right.
But when I heard that, it resonates even greater now because I didn't know how great a system they put in place where the women would actually be controlling households in number. So now I can understand why. Back then, it wasn't like it was now. But Satan had a system in place where the majority of women who through fear will make choices strictly for security. Therefore, it'll be easier to chip the rest of the children in the house. And in order for a man to have a place to stay, if he give housing to the women in particular, he would have to make a choice to stay in the house. So by default, he would also be chipped, because you're not going to come in my house with no money. Oh, if you don't get the mark, how can you sustain your family? What type of man is you? I did it, and ain't nothing wrong with me. How can you come living in our house and we're going to lose our house, our mortgage, our children's college, our children's daycare because you don't want to go down and get no stinking chip? Ain't nobody going to see it. Folks, that's what they're going to say. Let me tell you, clip it, keep it. Remember this particular broadcast, because this is what they said a few years ago. When the virus came out and people were talking about losing their jobs, it was like, boom, listen, you're not going to topple my house because of this. Here it comes. Let's read it, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir. Verse number 16.
Yep.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor.
Hold up. It doesn't matter who you are. He causeth both. Let me blow this up so y'all can see it. Let me blow this up. That's too big, ain't it? Hold on. Hold on. One second, Elder Lawya.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, I think I messed up here. One moment. Oh, that's it. There it is.
Now, if you need to enlarge it, I'm not sure if you can see right there. There's a little magnifying glass that can help you enlarge the text if you need to.
A magnifying glass right here. Where? Right here?
Yep, right under where the Bible translations are.
Thank you, Elder Lawya. I got it now.
Yes, sir. That way you don't have to change the screen itself.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Let's get the verse again.
Yes, sir. Verse number 16. It says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads.
Now, I've done this many times before, but I'm going to bring it all around full circle tonight. Here's the end game. To cause both small or great, doesn't matter how small you are or how rich or famous you are, rich or poor, doesn't matter whether or not you're somebody living in the projects or Donald Trump. Free or bond, it doesn't matter if you're walking around here free or someone in jail. To receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads. And guess what they're going to do, folks? They're going to, this is what prison reform is about. It links directly to the Book of Revelations. They're going to offer prisoners release in society if they're willing to have a tracker on. Now, that used to be, that's right, an ankle bracelet. But that was just a beta test for allowing inmates to get chipped and walk around society not just with an ankle bracelet, but also to be able to purchase and all that. And what they're going to do is test it first in the jails through commissary. Listen, folks, y'all never heard this before. You're hearing this before tonight. First time. And when it happens, you will know that what we're saying, hey, guess what? That's what it tells you in Ezekiel 33. And when it happens, and it will, you shall know a prophet has been amongst you. They started with the ankle bracelets. And then guess what? They're going to test the RFID chip in jail for commissary first. So when the people are released early, they're going to already have their tracker in them. Cut it, paste it, remember this day. Now let's get Mark real quick. Let's get Mark. Mark. It was written almost 2,000 years before our present time. To get a mark. Mark. Charagma. What? Charagma. Look at this here. A scratch on etching that is a badge of servitude. And it comes from charagma, which is etching. Etching is the piercing of skin. Technology, folks. Etching of skin. The etching of skin. That's right, a needle going in and injecting you with your currency and a tracker. The phones are the beta tests for what they would like to do and what they're going to do in the earth. And guess what? They did it with, that's right, pets first. They did it where how do you know it's a currency? Let's read Revelations 13 and 17, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir. And that no man might buy or sell.
No man might what?
Buy or sell.
That means, that's right. That's right, folks. An economy without physical money. The money's in you now. They don't have to worry about the IRS coming and auditing you and all that. No, you work, and guess what? Your taxes automatically deducted. If you owe money, it's already taken. This was a system the feds have put in place. They wanted in place for a long time where they don't have to sweat you for money. That's right. Automatically, when you get a job, your money is deducted just like it's garnished. Just like it is with child support. Just like it is if you're paying bills. The only thing they haven't chipped yet is you. All the resources, all the products we purchase right now has what? A barcode on it. People are the only product that's left to be marked. So it's not about physical money to them. It's all about control. Now that the currency is in you, you must comply or what? Get cut off. So it was never about the money, folks. They lie to make you think it's about greed. These people make the money. It's not about money. People are the greatest currency. You haven't figured that out yet? Elder Lawya. Now, how do we know, real quick, that it's technology in people? How do we know? Let's get it. We got a few more. Hit that like button, folks, because I'm going to show you this. Everything I'm saying is what they're planning. Come on.
All right.
Other way, let's get where it says a grievous sore.
Yes, sir. All right. Let me try 16, Revelation 16.
Yep, and get Revelation 14 also. Revelation 14 also.
Yes, sir. Revelation chapter 16, verse number 1.
Revelation 16, verse 1. Let's show you how the heavens are seeing this on earth. Now they're realizing, now we're living in a time where John was shown the earth has now been broken. The people are divided, and now it's all about materialism. And in order to sustain their image, they must comply to the new system in place. Now, how is the heavens viewing this now? Revelation 16 and 1. Let's read it.
Yes, sir. And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, Go your ways and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth.
Come on.
And the first went and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast.
Hold up. There fell what?
A noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image.
And why is there a mark on these people? Why is it grievous sore? Because of the radiation, 5G and others. That's right, brothers and sisters. People who are marked, they're going to try to hide it, but there will be a sore that's on these people because why? The radiation and all that, walking around and you got 5G and all that, guess what's going to happen? The RFID chip will get hot and there'll be a sore and you'll see exactly who got the mark of the beast, and it's going to hurt people. The grievous sore is because it's the technology in the person now. That's right, folks. Now, what happens for those who choose to get this instead of trusting God? Let's go to Revelations. Let me tell you, they don't even break down Revelation in churches anymore. Revelation 14 and 9. Revelation 14 and 9. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Revelation 14, verse 9.
Let's read it.
And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his right hand,
people going to have the option to put it in their hand, or like the Manchurian candidate, it can be shot in their cranium, in their head. Read.
If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or his right hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture, into a cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
Now hold this, Elder Lawya. So if you do choose the mark of the beast and saying you're going to choose your life to save your children, and you're willing to get this being socialized under the devil, well, guess what? You have chose this kingdom over God's kingdom, over the kingdom of Christ to come, and you will be destroyed. And the same people who excused themselves to keep their job and all these others because of the stuff that came out 2 years ago will be the same people making this choice to uphold their image. And guess what? If you do that, you're done. Because why? When you get this chip in you, based on your body already getting prepped to receive it, it will connect to your neural senses and you'll be controlled by a spirit within this earth. You are connected with Satan himself, and you can now be utilized as an agent for chaos against all who is right. You will be controlled, folks. You will be controlled like an android. You no longer exist. So how are they going to bring this all to pass? Well, in order for the New World Order to exist, they must starve the world out. And another thing they must do, they must cause a war where all power goes back to the original beast, who is Europe. And this is what brings us to the European Economic Forum. Folks, you go into your stores and guess what? What they're not telling you about the immigrants and all that's in these stores, then, hey, all I can say is you can just think they're immigrants if you want. And they're making all of our shelves, Best Buy, supermarkets, they're making everyone believe, they're giving you the illusion that what? That the shelves are full. They're putting big boxes of nothing, like it's a warehouse, on shelves that are emptied right now. There's East Indians everywhere. There's Chinese people everywhere. I'm talking about in number, like, what is this? It's time to bring it around full circle. Elder Lawya, now let's get Revelation 17. Revelation 17. And I'm not going to go all the way to the scarlet colored beast. The scarlet colored beast here is Esau, the fourth beast, the Roman Empire, the enemy of God. Let's go directly here, Elder Lawya. Let's go straight to here to where it talks about they have one mind. Let's go to the 10 horns. Revelation 17 and 12. Let's read it. Your mic is out, Elder Lawya.
Yes, sir. Revelation 17, verse number 12.
Read.
And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast.
1 hour with the beast. Now, who's the 10 kings who have not received no kingdom as of yet? Well, these are the 10 horns, or the 10 original countries connected to Rome, the EU. The reason why they didn't receive a kingdom as of yet is because America have received all of Europe's glory. But they will be in power in the last hour before Christ returns, which means America has now become expendable. This is why the European Forum and the Club of Rome, Bilderberg, they've been having all these meetings in Europe on how to eventually have America implode in on itself, so that now, that's right, people will hate America and everything it stands for and politically align themselves against America. And they would put someone in place that no one would respect and no one would follow on purpose. This is all political posturing so that people will now cry to have Europe rule instead of America. Now America will no longer be the trusted position of authority, because they will put people in place and have a system, immoral system, a divided system, an evil system, and people where the whole world would begin to question, the psyche of those who are in control. This all is strategic. It's all strategic so that people can now look for a higher political machine in favor over America. That's what we're reading right here in Revelation. 10 horns is the EU, read.
Yes, sir. Verse 13. These have one mind.
These have one mind. One world order. It's now been assumed. They must get the whole earth under one economic system, and they have one mind to finish. This is the one world, or the new world order. Read.
These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast.
Unto the beast. Satan is their God. Read.
These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings.
And that's right. They're putting a system in place with Russia, America, with their spaceships out there to war at the very end, folks. They're not looking for Mars. They're not looking for water on Mars. They're not going to Jupiter. They're preparing a military confederation against the heavens. That's what they're doing together. They are aligning the earth to fight against Christ, whether you believe it or not. That's right. Planet X isn't coming here. Heaven is coming here. And the 10 horns will be in position. But how will the 10 horns get position? Listen clearly. Read.
These shall make war with the Lamb.
It's a federation. Read.
These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them. For he is Lord of lords and King of kings, and they that are with him are called and chosen and faithful.
Read it.
And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues.
So it's Esau over all of the races right now. Nations, people, nations, multitudes, and tongues. It's Esau moving the whole earth and all the pieces in it like chess pieces. And folks, this is where your immigration comes in at. You destabilize a country by diluting its citizenry. This is how you destroy a country. Just imagine if someone in the Middle East allowed 3 billion, let's just say 1 billion Africans to go into any country at once. What would Italy look like? What would Egypt look like? You're actually destabilizing the country through social engineering. This is a way of actually destroying a country inwardly. So when it says over nations, kindreds, and tongues, this is them controlling the people to change the landscape politically throughout the earth using people. Read.
Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate.
They shall what?
These shall hate the whore, and make her desolate and naked.
They shall hate the whore. So it's Europe who hates America, whom they have created to enslave us. Because why? America was made out of France. America was made out of Spain, England, but yet America has more glory than Rome, than the 10 horns. So they would set a political landscape to make America, or the hierarchy of America, look foolish politically from the international eyes who are watching it. They would publicize Americans as fools and those who are running America. That's how you hate the whore. Because you're publicly giving America bad press intentionally. That's why they have the intersectional thing. Superman now has a lover. That's why they having all this stuff come from America so that the other countries can look at it and say, what is going on here? It's a strategic play so that now the 10 horns and the world powers can align against America and become what? The political overlord over the earth to get the glory they lost when America took their shine. And this is why they hate America, folks. I'm going to show you why they hate America. I'm going to show you why they hate America. You know why they hate America? Because our people came to America as slaves, and we've become the glory of it. Their countries doesn't have as much recognition as ours because the slaves end up dictating the culture of America. We took over. See? We're able to influence all the people, not just the people in America. We're able to influence all the children and the people throughout the earth with the shine that slaves accumulated. We came over here on cargo slave ships and created a culture that influenced the whole world. And Esau is looking like they went into captivity and they're still shining above us. They've taken the glory. We created America and the slaves have taken over. That's why they hate the whore. Because what they didn't bank on was us influencing everybody. They can't stop Israel from shining. So they're saying, listen, not only did America get our glory, the slaves are influencing the whole world. And if we don't stop them, they will realize. And then from the same place we went into captivity, we begin to declare from America that we are the chosen people of God. So Europe is saying, Rome is saying, no, it's enough. We try to give them Elvis, and now Joe Jackson had Michael Jackson. We can't stop them. It doesn't matter what we do. And now they know that the children of God, we must get rid of this place. They're influencing the earth now. This is why they're going to hate the whore. Let's go back to Revelation. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Revelation 17, verse number 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
And burn her with fire. Now, how do you make her desolate and naked? America. You begin to expose America politically around the world as weak. That's how you make a country naked. See? Where now all the other militaries in the earth are what? Aligning men and actually promoting men for the military for the last war. And in America's military, don't ask, don't tell. You're promoting women as equally to men on TV and all that, folks. Folks, that's not happening anywhere on the earth but America. That's making America weak. When here it is, there's real injustices going on in the earth, and the only thing that they can champion in America is what? Putting finances towards sexuality? This is how they expose America as weak. It's intentional. It's intentional. And that's why it says for 17, for God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill what, Elder Lawya?
For God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will.
Because it's in the cards God, it's in God's cards. It was in the prophecies when he allowed America to become what it is, that this is how America would go down. It would go down by the same people, I'm talking about the 10 horns, who she was created out of. And what are we looking at here? What we're looking at here, you may think it's all bad, but this is how God's people eventually are freed. Because America also once represented the power that was able to enslave Judah. And when America no longer exists, that's going to be a sign to the whole earth that Israel will soon reign on earth. The one country that was able to enslave the kings of this world is in smoke, is in shambles. Read.
For God hath put it in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled.
Read.
And verse 18. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
That reigned over the kings of the earth. At last, Babylon the Great has fallen. Now, let me go to the economic. Let's get it. I'm going to show you how it's going to play out right now. Everything that's going down, they tell you exactly what they're going to do through the World Economic Forum. The World's Economic Forum. I need to show you all this, brothers and sisters. Check this out. One second. Look at this. The World Economic Forum. What we have here. Look at this. Let's go through it. At the center of it is what we witnessed in 2020. That's the nucleus. But out of the nucleus comes what? Arts and culture. What does arts and culture have to do with this? Well, a progressive satanic agenda pushed through art. This is why it's not about the money. Look at the movies they're putting out right now. No one's going to see that junk, but it's about what? Conditioning the next generation to accept a new culture. On and on and on. Geopolitics, geoeconomics. Look at this. European Union, the United States, migration, trade and investment, aerospace, China, the digital transformation of business, the mark of the beast. The digital transformation of business, aviation, travel and tourism, agile governance, science. Look at this, folks. On and on and on and on. On and on. Look. LBGTI. Now, I didn't know there was an I. Inclusion. Biodiversity. That's agile governance. Right? Agile. Human rights. System racism. Just in law. Diversity inclusion. This is what they use. Hey, folks, this is how they're bringing forth the mark. Socially engineering the world, pandemic preparedness, innovation, global health, healthcare, biotechnology. Biotechnology? Oh yeah, folks. Biotechnology, and what we have here. Biotechnology? Oh my goodness. Food security? What we need food security for? Well, you're not going to be able to get food, folks. That's right. All food is going to be locked up unless you're willing to do what? Acquiesce to the beast. Oh, we got it. Climate change, biodiversity, on and on and on. They're telling you exactly what they're going to do through the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum. Now there's more. There's more here. Let me show you. There's more, folks. But the nucleus of it was started in 2020, right here. It started right here. And to set up a system that will lead to all these other systems that we're seeing right all the way around it. They can use this to do all of that. And where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? The World Economic Forum. What is the World Economic Forum? Strategic intelligence. To control the earth under one order. Did y'all see that tornado there? That storm? Elder Lawya?
Yes, sir.
I was able to look into this, and it's clear that this is everything prophetically that was written of in the Bible. The mark of the beast system, the only thing they need to do now is mark people, but they have to keep people divided to a degree where they will be dependent on the state or the government to survive. And those without faith will lose in this war. Now, me bringing this forth through the Spirit of the Almighty this evening is to show you why we were placed here, why we were born. To have everyone know that what the Bible talks about is happening in full play. And unless we get down with this God who intended this, folks, what we're telling you is an intended absolute that would lead to our freedom. But through this, we have to make the right choices and pick our battles correctly. And pick our battles correctly. And if we don't operate in the Spirit of Christ, guess what? You're going to be taken out. If you react to other things, if we don't put our houses in order, and we don't start preparing for the inevitable, we're going to be at the behest of the system. And it's going to be the same people who claim that they would never take the mark of the beast. They'll be the first ones in line. If you don't believe me, Lawya, look what happened when the virus came out. How many people thought they were going to stand pat, and where exactly were they? They made excuses to acquiesce. And here we are. We have to discern the times, folks. Get our houses in order. If there's sin going out, if there's some sin in our house, we must choose God over sin. If we have children that's out of order, bye-bye. You're grown. You're past the age of 18. You gotta go. If you're going to act out according to this system and buy into the system and the sin and all of that to become one of these people who are agents against God, agents of chaos, you must go. Hard choices have to be made. And it's time that we discern the times and understanding, folks, everything we're breaking down is at the door. It's at the door. Elder Lawya, anything you have to say real quick?
Yes, sir, very quickly. I think what you broke down earlier was very profound when speaking about the various arguments, the various debates, some things that people would even label as distractions that are presented to us on a daily basis, and how easy it is to get caught up on either side of an argument pertaining to those things that are presented to us on a daily basis, whether it be news, whether it be media, whether it be politics, whether it be religious, whether it be lifestyle or what have you. And in the time we're in, it's going to be very important to understand, as you have mentioned so eloquently, that we're going to have to choose our battles wisely because we don't have much time to really delve into and to address or even have time to really sit back and meditate on a lot of the things that are coming out, because we're in an age of information where information is traveling and coming to us so quickly that it's almost impossible to keep up with all the information that's coming out, let alone be able to argue and debate all of the information that's coming out. And there's one scripture I wanted to read on that in relation to something we read earlier in Matthew, the 12th chapter, about the vision being divided. And I'll hand it over. This is the book of Ecclesiastes 12 and 11 through 12. In fact, Ecclesiastes 12 and 12. It says here, and further by these, my son, be admonished of making many books, there is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. So the question is, what does this have to do with the topic as far as so many things coming at us on a daily basis? So many things, so many arguments are out there politically. So many arguments are out there when it comes to people's lifestyle choices and news and entertainment, and just so many things are coming at us so quickly. But the question is, what does this have to do with that? Well, when it comes to, especially as teachers, just coming from our perspective, obviously, as these things are coming at us, we're going to want to address these things from an intelligent standpoint, from an eloquent standpoint, from a research standpoint. So when we bring forth our opinions, obviously, we're going to want to research and read up and do all the back study to be able to present these arguments or present our standpoint eloquently and intelligently so that we don't look like, we don't look foolish. Mm-hmm. But with that, with all of the things that are coming at us, it's almost impossible to research and look into this and what's going on here, what's going on there. You'll find yourself all over the place, and you'll find yourself spread thin to the point where the things that actually matter in your life on a daily basis, your family, the people close to you, you won't have time to even address or deal with the matters that pertain to that. And on top of that, deal with the arguments of what's going on here, what's going on with this little, there's so many spats going on right now that it's impossible to study and keep up on it. Yeah. So the Bible tells us, using wisdom, that trying to research and get into all these things, it's of no end. It'll never stop. Mm-hmm. So the Bible makes it simple for us. It says here in verse 13, let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. This is our purpose. It is simplified for us, and it makes it to where it's not just us looking to find what the next juicy topic is. It's actually letting us know what we must put into action. Our duty is associated with what? The action of keeping God's law. So it's not just armchair politics or armchair philosophy trying to discuss this or discuss that. It's actually putting something into action in your daily life that's going to benefit you personally, that's going to benefit your family, that's going to benefit the church, and ultimately benefit the nation, or those who at least within the nation are willing to follow the path of righteousness. So we must remember this with all that's going on around us. Always remember that we have a duty to our God, and that is to keep his commandments. And with that, I yield.
Well, thank you, Elder Lawya. And to add to that, at the end of the day, when we talked about purpose from the beginning, whatever your discussions are and whatever you feel you've been born to do, let's put it that way. At the end of the day, when you speak of whatever you're doing in life, what is your end goal? I can say that every time we come before people and teaching the word of God, there's a goal in mind.
Right.
And this can let people know whether or not they're just spinning wheels and wasting time, or living in this earth with the small time we have here with a purpose. So when we go before people and we speak, at the end of the day, what is your goal? And then at the end of it, does your goal align with God's? See, Christ made it simple. So listen, no longer this ministry through Christ is here and we're doing what we're doing, but no longer are we to sit back and just tell people what they should be doing or what they aren't doing. Those days are over with. Okay? We're here to put out the word, and those who can understand the word, they can take it and use it for the purpose God intended. And if it be the Most High will, we'll work together. But the Bible says, even Paul says, it's high time that we awake out of sleep. It's no longer time to force people to try to beat it over someone's head forced them to see life outside truth, outside of their programming. Either people get down with the Most High, or the New World Order will dictate your future, your path. There is no in between. There's only two gods. There's only two worlds. The carnal world and the world to come. And that's why people are not going to see me going back and forth with people. Nah, I'll tell you what. If you believe your way is the way, hey, if you believe that what you're doing is God's purpose and it's in line with his goal, have at it. Go forward. But what are we doing? Especially after Tabernacles, Elder Lawya, it all came to mind. Even the brother James called me today and say, listen, we have to have continual workshops amongst our body. I'm gonna speak to the elders. I'm gonna speak to Eleazar and all the people that have trades, be it men and women, when it comes to carpentry, electricity, whether it be batteries, whether it be making clothes, home economics, teaching young women how to actually operate in their femininity. We're going to have, through our church, workshops, and we're going to set it up with the elders first. When brothers want to come and learn a trade, they'll be right up in our church. You'll learn how to be a carpenter. You'll learn how to fix a car. You'll learn how to deal in everyday scenarios. All right, when it comes to trades and doing something with the work of your hands. We're going to take these young men like we did through Tabernacle, Elder Lawya, and we're going to train them. We're going to have like we have brother Emmanuel. Every time there's some need to be fixed in the church and all that, he's always fixing stuff. I'm like, you know what? He would love to sit down with young men and wood shop, like we had wood shop in school, and teach young men how to use tools and how to build and all that. Listen, we're not waiting for nobody. We're just going to do it. Because we're not waiting. We're not going to talk about it. Just like we've said it from the beginning. Right? People can say what they want. But everything this church set out to do in the name of Christ for the purpose that was given us, with what the Most High have given us, we have put into real time, tangible life. There's nothing we talked about that we haven't established in this earth through the power of God, who it is his power that have actually given us to establish what we're doing. The kingdom cometh not by observation. We're not waiting for nobody. Listen, we're going to convert as we can, but we have enough children in our church and all that we can train. Okay? And guess what? And that's greater than converts.
Right.
The New World Order and others are targeting the children with their nonsense. So the children are greater than converts. The only thing we have to do is set something in place to train them. So that's where the Most High is shifted. It's no more arguing, oh, I believe this and I believe that. You believe nothing if you're not doing anything with it. If you're not putting something in place for what's to come, what good is your belief? What is your purpose? So, hey, keep on looking. And guess what? When the internet go out, when all this go out, what we've put in place for what's to come and invested in people in every which way we can. I understand that when there's no more internet, what we put in the people who have come into this church and was baptized will help sustain us all. And that's the focus. No longer is it fighting somebody about whether or not your doctrine is right and all that. Because it's not going to do nothing if you're right and alone when the New World Order knocks on your door. Here we go. Elder Lawya, let's open up the lines real quick. We'll just take a few calls for a few hours. Not a few hours, for a few moments. It's not going to happen. Discerning the times, Elder Lawya, hold tight and let me get the other call in real quick. You don't have to go anywhere. I can pull it in right now, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, one moment.
I'm just going to step away for one quick second.
All right. Okay, that's fine.
Blog Talk Radio. Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
515-605-9327. Discerning
Unmuted.
the times. Thank you, Elder Rawchaa, for unmuting me. Okay, Sunshine is first, so go ahead and we're going to get you out of the way first, Sunshine. Go on. Make it quick now. Sunshine, you there? Hey, you're live, Sunshine. Yes, hurry up. Come on, let's do it.
Hello? Hello, Elder?
Hello.
Hello? Oh, okay. Hi, Elder. Hi.
Come on with it. Come on with it, Sunshine. Come on.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Oh, Elders, what a wonderful and powerful lesson and great reminder and motivator telling us, the children of Israel, to not look towards our status dictated by the nations for us as our boundary, as a prison that we cannot climb out of, or as like some invisible limit in our skill, education, talent, and independence that we cannot cross without the help or instruction, or a handout from those that are oftentimes giving us things laden with diverse tricks to oppress us further, such as, when we see the acres and the mule that we were handed out but never really received, or the civil rights monies that the ancestors bled and died for, and, that we never received also. And in this wonderful reminder tonight, it's an opportunity of remembering who and what we are capable of, and our endless gifts, and what we were always meant to be, that can tear through any false stone or monument erected against us and our generations to come. And we, the children of Israel, who desire to follow Christ's path and who desire to express and possess in humility the actions directed us in the Beatitudes, can now avoid those negative thoughts that have been drummed into us since the Willie Lynch days, and well beforehand, for centuries and relentlessly to this day, among the Gentile tokens left about, the conquered countries, to celebrate our destruction. And we'll now see these thoughts that may come upon us to keep us in bonds and deep misguided fears, and in a state of feeling perpetually unworthy, as replaceable. And our mass mindset of being in that sole ownership of the downtrodden and useless can now change to feelings as rightful and righteous masters, leaders, and judges, and princes and princesses of this world. And Israel as rulers from the meek, the poor, and the brokenhearted, that now through our prophesied calamities spread throughout the four corners of the earth have expanded and increased in ourselves, in our empathy, and in our wisdom of Ahia, being the beaten down and forgotten by the nations. We can now empathize with others, and on one accord, undivided, be a true light unto the world that will avoid the chaos and the wiles of beast and devil. And we can now understand readily that vengeance is mine, save the Lord. And through our righteous obedient steps, guided by Christ and the Most High, the entire upside down earth in our opposite behavior can see the manner of this peculiar people and just what truth and righteousness should look like. And by default, we'll also see the wickedness that in its nakedness revealed, and that man of sin being revealed, who has continually pitted the entire world and rages and chase against one another as used dogs in a circus ring. But they will no longer be able to, hide in the shadows or devise wickedness on their beds, but they would have that light blinding them, because they're now condemned by that light of Christ. All right,
you got to chop. You better hurry up. I'm about to go to the next one.
Just say that they will not be able to hide anymore, because our light by my grace through Christ will beam on them as his righteous and faithful servants. And that's all I wanted to say, Elder.
Thank you. There she goes. She was there first, so I had to bring her in. Thank you. You always come with eloquent, I would say eloquent, poignant perspectives. Sunshine. All right, let's go straight to it. Let me show you something here. Let me show you real quick. As you can see before you, here's their plan. Mark of the beast. Look at this. The World Economic Forum. Here's the conversations they're having to progress the world into the mark of the beast system. As you can see, it started off with technology for C-19. All these intertwined conversations that are being had for the future. The digital economy. The purpose of stakeholder capitalism. Digital transformation of organizations. Digital infrastructure for all. That's right. People must become product. They must be able to mark you like the products we purchase in supermarkets. Business of data. And it all started right here. I told you, this is where they began to set the infrastructure that would lead to the mark of the beast system. Go to the World Economic Forum, strategic intelligence, and they'll tell you, and guess what? They've been doing this for years. The planning towards the mark of the beast system, bringing all power back to the 10 horns, which are Rome, Europe, to bring the whole earth into a new world order that would lead to all people left as servants under Satan to fight against the Messiah. That's the end game. Andre has a comment.
Yes, sir. Big shalom, Elder. How you doing today, sir?
I'm blessed by the best, and his name is Ahia. How are you, my brother?
Yes, sir. Blessed by the same one. Yes, sir. I'm gonna try to keep it short and sweet. Shout out to Sunshine. She leaves no stone unturned. It's hard to go after her.
Yeah.
It's so profound every broadcast that happens, because what I'm constantly reminded of is 2 Thessalonians, when it says the son of perdition shall be revealed. It's like every broadcast the elders find a different way. You guys, in double honesty, you find a different way to reveal that son of perdition. And then even in this censorship society where you can be censored for revealing these things, you find a way to do it. And
Praise
it's
the Most High.
because reflecting, I'm telling you, it's a blessing, because reflecting back on what Elder Lawya, the example about the young lady in Virginia who said that she's willing to take that mark just to feed her kids. But it just shows her lack of understanding. Christ says you're error because you lack knowledge. Because what the Bible says is wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. So if you cleave to this truth and you accept wisdom and knowledge, Solomon brings a full circle when he says, with all thy getting, you get understanding. She would actually get the understanding that this church is preparing us for these times. Your children might not even go hungry because we're preparing for these times.
Yeah.
It's like when Christ said, it's like Matthew 24, when Christ said, those who, if you didn't know the thief was coming, you know what I'm saying? You would be. So it's one of those things where people don't realize to their own damnation, it's the vanity in ourselves that hold us back from accepting this truth. There's nothing else. And like you explained, is that image that they gave to us is the vanity of ourselves. And the moment we accept that, we can overcome ourselves, admit we was lied to, admit we believed the lie, and then receive the truth. It's that simple. But the beautiful thing about the elders is, like you said, not only are we revealing the son of perdition to those who are willing to listen, to those who have an ear, we're revealing it to the next generation. So now we're in a church full of children. I see it every week at Shabbat, Elder. We're in a church full of children who recognize the son of perdition when they see it. Yeah. They recognize the CDC is the Center for Disease Creation. You know, so they recognize the FDA is the Fraud and Deception Association. They know these things. And it's a blessing, because had you guys not begun in 2007, well before then, to reveal the son of perdition, none of us would recognize these things. So it's double honors to the elders, but it's all praises to the Most High. Because like I said, if people accept wisdom and knowledge, they'll be stable in these times, more stable than they can imagine. And Elder Rawchaa just touched that on his broadcast, but it's a part of that process. So I'm going to yield right now because I'm long-winded, but bless you, Elder. I love you guys, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Andre. Let me ask you before you go. Are you still on Patreon?
Yes, sir.
You're still a Patreon member, right?
Oh, yeah, I know what time it is. Yes, sir. That's
Okay. Did you see the 3-part interview we put up where the paper interviewed the church? The sister was able to interview us.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
You seen it? Well, brothers,
Yes, sir.
I don't know if you seen it because I wasn't just going to be there on Patreon and not give you all something. There's an interview on Patreon, folks, of how the church began and how the Most High moved us to where we are today. You must see that on Patreon. Some of what we can say there, I don't know if it's okay to say here, but if you go to Patreon.com/AGathering144, you can join, even if it's for a month, to check out that interview we put up there. And you probably want to come on this Friday because I will be here this Friday for Patreon to do some health questions with Brittany, Truman Burse's granddaughter, because we're going into quote unquote flu season, and brothers and sisters want to know how to really boost their immune system for what's to come up here. So this season. So
absolutely,
I'll be there. I'll be there on Patreon this Friday. Okay. But
yes, sir. And Saints, I'm gonna tell y'all, get on Patreon. That that interview with the church begun is profound. I watched it twice, and what's amazing, I'm not gonna tell it all here, but Elder tells a story in that interview about how the Most High got his attention. If you're a brother out there and you're watching now, and you're trying to decide whether you're gonna submit to the Most High or not, get on Patreon and watch that story that Elder tells in that interview, and you're gonna submit to the Most High immediately. And I'll yield with that.
All right, thank you, my brother. Bless you. Shalom.
Bless you, Elder.
All
Bless
right. Israel has a question.
Shalom, Elder.
How are you doing, Israel? Shalom.
I'm doing all right, man. Thanks for asking, man. I had something interesting to share with you. I just thought you guys would think it was interesting. I was wondering, did you know that Umar means prospering and thriving?
What you say, Umar? The word Umar?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't look that up in particular, but that's interesting that it means that. All right.
Yeah, and I when I seen it, I thought of Dr. Umar Johnson.
Well,
I was like, wow, that's probably why he called himself Dr. Umar.
Well, no, his father, I guess he was raised Muslim. See,
okay.
Yeah, he was raised Muslim. So Umar was usually it came at a time where if your father was raised Muslim, he would give you a Muslim name. We have that in North Philadelphia. He was raised about a mile away from where I live on the other side of Broad Street. So there's a lot of people. There was Umar, there was Yusuf, there was all these Muslim names because his father was Muslim. See, but even though the brother's articulate, I pray that the Most High bring him to the knowledge of the truth. But he was raised Muslim. He got into African spirituality, which is witchcraft, and on top of that, he has that witchcraft thing, and then he has this Muslim thing too. And one thing about him, I hope the brother come to the knowledge of the truth, that he don't realize he was raised to become, at no fault of his own, anti-Bible. So the brother has a lot of good points, but what is his purpose if he's saying he's standing for black people and all that, but he don't know the real war is being waged against Israel, right? So, I just pray for the brother. I pray that he understand the importance of the book he's been taught to fight against, and I believe that will finally begin his journey. All right, but let's go. Anything else?
For sure, Elder. Yeah, I was gonna say, man. I've been having a struggle like with submitting to the Most High. I was just listening to what the brother was just saying. It's some sinful things that I had in my heart that I wanted to fulfill, and that's kind of like holding me back. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm supposed to be doing the right thing, but it's just like, dang, man, I could have did X, Y, and Z. So it's just like, kind of holding me back, And I was like, you know what? Let me share this with Elder. I just want to see what he would say.
Well, this is what I have to say.
Hello?
Yeah, this is what I have to say
Oh, okay.
on that. There's
All
no
right.
there's no better time to do what's right than now. Right?
Right.
I mean, we all struggle with thoughts and temptation is something that started with Adam. But overall,
Right.
Paul says that when I was a child, I thought like a child, but when I came of age, when I became a man, I put away childish things. And part of those childish things is coming of age to be able to rule yourself as a man.
Right.
Right? So there's,
Right.
I mean, we've all had error. We've all fell to temptation. We've all made mistakes, but it comes a time that you have to realize and we have to think about it. We have more time behind us than we have in front of us. So at the end of the day, you understand, what do you want that interaction to be before the Almighty? Because, hey, life is short. Okay? It's only a short span of existence. And the reality is,
Right.
we spend more time and have spent more time in the spiritual realm than the few years we have to make a mark here on earth. So what do you want to do with what do you want to do with eternity is the question. Because we have a long time to live with what? The reward or consequences for our actions here in this short space. So that's really what it comes down to, young man. I mean, your brother. I don't mean to call you young man, brother. Do you want to be remembered, brother? And do you want to make a mark? And if that's what you want to do, if that's between you and the Most High. If you want to be remembered for what's right and make a mark, guess what? It doesn't take much time. It's just you making that decision and saying, you know what? I don't want to be forgotten. I want to be remembered for standing for God's people. And if it means me killing a part of myself, which is my flesh or temptation to do so, it's worth the sacrifice. Okay?
So, for sure. A round of applause.
Hey, it's between
you, I appreciate
brother,
it, man.
it's between you and the Most High, okay?
And bless both of y'all.
Well, bless you, brother. And you can do it. It's in you.
Sir.
You're a son of Jacob. It's in you.
Thank you, man.
You're welcome. Bless you. Mike has a comment.
Hi, Elder Rawchaa. This is Mika.
Oh, Mika. I'm sorry. I thought it was an E. How you doing, Mika? Sorry.
I'm doing fine.
Okay. The floor is yours, Mika.
Okay, I know I said I had a comment, but I actually have a question. I wanted to know, did you hear anything about them releasing the genetically modified mosquitoes? Because I've heard that they've released them already.
It's deep that you're talking about that. It's because it's deep you're talking about that because Elder Rawchaa mentioned that during the news last Sunday in the Academy. And I can't talk about it here, but there's a way. Not only can we build our immune system, but there's one particular drug that we must have in place, and we must get it immediately in all of our houses, almost immediately, and have it for worst case scenario. Of course, I can't say it here. But Friday, we're going to talk about it. You must have this in your first aid kit at all times, knowing what's released. Okay? This is what you should have and how much of it. And we'll have a doctor and all that. We'll have them in place to let people know Get it while you can get it, and it's easy accessible. People are going to be coming down with all types of sicknesses that the doctors and the hospitals are not going to have the answer for. But if you have this in your cupboard, according to a doctor, there's a good chance that you'll make it through it. So I'll be talking about that this coming Friday on Patreon. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. So hopefully you're there, okay?
All right.
All right. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom. I don't know, people are asking, well, Elder, why can't I say it right here? There's certain rules here that we just can't cross on this platform. So I understand what the rules are. I'm going to comply with all of YouTube's guidelines. It's fine. We have Patreon where we can discuss things. In the Academy, we can discuss things even more freely than that. So join Patreon. Patreon.com/AGathering144. It's a small amount. We're not even jacking it up to what it could be monthly. And it helps the work because we have a lot of programs we need to put in place. And if not there, make sure you're there in the Hebrew and Bible Academy. Okay, I just went over the priesthood. And now everyone knows who the sons of Zadok are. The priesthood, they understand what the Essene records were and who are the Essenes. So I went over that last week. And yes, we're going into Christianity this week. But the following week after that, we're going to go into who is the synagogue of Satan. So you don't want to miss that. So historytimes.org, it supports the work. And you can get lessons and breakdowns that you've never heard before. And of course, right now on these particular platforms I'm mentioning, Patreon and our Academy, we can speak unfiltered, uncensored. So do yourself a favor and join up with those two, okay? Thank you, Mika. Louise has a question.
Well, good evening, Elder Rawchaa. All praises to the Most High Living God.
Good evening, Louise. The floor is yours.
Okay, my question was I was trying to get in touch with Patreon. I've been trying to email, but I have just gotten the connection by just listening just this moment.
Yeah.
So now I know how to get into Patreon. Also, you mentioned it's something we must have in our cupboard. I am not taking Academy this time, but I will be taking it the next time it comes up. I'm wondering, would I be able to get that information?
Well, sister, do me a favor and cut me off in the background. It's bad broadcasting for me to hear myself in the background, if you don't mind.
How's this? Is this much better?
Yeah. If you join Patreon today, you'll have that information this Friday. I'm going to be on from 12 p.m. noon to 2 o'clock on Patreon with guests. So if you're on Patreon, you will have that particular what you would need in case something happens to know to have this. You know, you don't use it unless you need it. You'll have, but I can't talk about it here, but I'll tell you Friday.
I understand. But my thing is, I'm trying to send it through Cash App, so I can send it through Cash App.
No, when you go on Patreon, it give you the option on Patreon. It's only $5 to actually sign up as a member.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it's not Cash App. You must sign up as a Patreon member. So go to Patreon /
Well, actually, I was on Patreon. I was on Patreon last month, or was it 2 months ago? But I was getting Patreon, but then I had trouble with my card, so I was trying to get it through my Cash App.
Well, no. Well,
so I'll just go to Patreon.
Yeah, you have to go to Patreon and make sure you have an account set up because really, we don't have no power on how Patreon system is set up. Okay, you must do that by going to Patreon and making sure your membership is up to par, and making sure whatever they're telling you to do, you must do that on your side. We have no control over that. So go to Patreon and make sure you are a Patreon member. If you have a problem with your old account, make a new account. Okay, with the way. Okay, so do it that way. Okay.
Okay, so this Patreon /
A Gathering 144.
Okay.
All right.
I truly thank you so much, and I can't wait to get back into the academy.
Okay. Well, we'll be there when you're ready. But at
Okay.
least you got the Patreon. But please keep in mind, there's so much in the academy that because it's about 4 or 5 hours of straight knowledge from Hebrew to news.
Yeah, I know. I've taken it twice already.
Exactly. So and no lessons are the same. So I really suggest, even if people aren't on Patreon, to be in that academy. It's just
Mm-hmm.
it's the best thing going right now when it comes to information in a short amount of time. All right, and without censorship, it's really the best thing going right now. Okay.
Yes, it is. Yes, sir. Shalom, and thank you so much. Or should I say Tawada?
Okay, Ayendabar. Someone is learning their Hebrew. Go on, girl. All right, shalom, Louise.
I'm getting it a little bit.
Okay, Tawada. There you go. There you go. I like that. All right. All right. Our people are learning their Hebrew and everything. Ain't there something? Ani B. Oh, yeah. I had that Ani B jelly the other day. I made some home fries. Some beef sausage with some cheddar cheese and eggs. But you know I got to do my push-ups and sit-ups. And I had that Ani B jelly on my toast with butter. I hurt the game with that, I'll tell you. How you doing, Ani B?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm doing well, and I'm going to call you soon and talk about how we can distribute your jelly. We're going to talk about that, right?
I got my website set up. When you told me that, I got with one of the sisters. She makes websites.
Okay.
I got my website made. I'm set up, ready to go. I have been distributed into some people. I need to get with you because I have a couple of new flavors I want to come up with, but I want to speak with you first before I do it because I want to get your blessings and okay through the church.
Okay. Now, I'll give you a call. But real quick,
okay.
Do you have labels on your jelly now?
I don't have labels on them yet. I'm working on that now.
Hey, sister, I'm going to put it to you like it is. And I talked to some brothers about that yesterday. If we're going to do business, we're going to do it right, right? I wouldn't launch anything.
Gotcha.
I wouldn't launch anything until your packaging is right, right? You got to make sure it doesn't take anything to make sure you get a regular printer and make you a label, print off your labels and stick it up on there with your ingredients and all that, right? So if we're going to compete, we got to do it on the level of those who are actually in the market. So I don't suggest that anyone do things and then fly the plane as it goes. No, if you don't launch anything until you got it all together. And make sure that before you launch your webpage, that you have enough product in stock ready to go, so that you're not working behind. So you're not working behind trying to fulfill orders as it goes. Get your labels together.
I'm fully stocked.
Okay, all right. Well, get your labels together, sister. We want to see what that Ani B logo looks like. Okay, do it right.
Okay. Well,
right.
You can go to my website. The logo is already there. I talked to somebody about the labels. They just go on your lid. I just have to get with somebody for the ingredients ones now. And I've been trying to get with something for that one.
I'm going to give you something. Usually, when I used to work in the corporate world, they ask for ideas and all that, marketing and all that. I'm going to help you out real quick, right?
Okay.
Everyone needs a signature logo that can separate you from everyone else. And when I say this, all you got to do, I'm Annie B. All you got to do is have a queen bee, a sister with your hairstyle, but it's a bee, right? Annie B's jelly. And guess what? It'll be a bee, a queen bee, but it's you, a sister. So if you got your hair a certain type of way, you put that on top of that, looking cute or whatever the case is, Annie B's jelly. And use that queen bee, boom, looking like you, black, as a trademark. Get on that now before someone steal it. All right?
Okay. Now, I want you to go to my website and check it out and see what I have there now.
All right.
Do you mind if I give you what the website is?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, you can Google it. It's www, and it's all small letters, all together. Auntie BSJELLY.com/shop.
Okay. All right. There it is. Put it out there once more.
I'm up to 33 flavors now.
Go ahead, girl. And I'm going to help you out, Annie B. Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes,
Now,
no. Listen. I'm trying to help you out. Let me tell you, if you don't hear this, you're going to find yourself spent. All right. And
okay.
not only that, the business will fail. When you're dealing with the business, sister, less is more. Less is more. What I would suggest is you start off with 2 flavors. Therefore, you don't have to spend all your money on all these different fruits and all that. And guess what? Because one fruit might become where you can't get it from a supermarket. Only have 2. And I'm going to tell you the 2 to start off with. And just focus on that. Grape and strawberry. That's it. Less is more. The more choices you put out there for people, you make it hard for them to make a decision, you won't sell nothing. 2 products, and then you add as it goes. You're only one person. Believe me. You do what I'm telling you, it will prosper, and you can focus and grow from there. You don't have enough manpower to deal with 33 different flavors. Business.
I already got them made.
I understand, sister, but when you get online and you got 1,000 people wanting these different flavors at one time, we're going to do what? We're going to do the hood thing and telling people that when you go into a Jamaican store, okay, I got rice and beans, but no plantains. When I go inside a Jamaican store, I ask them what they have. I don't look at the menu because you guarantee that something on the menu is going to be out. That's not how you do business, sister. Again,
okay,
I'm going to help you out. 2 flavors.
Okay.
Less is more. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And then you can always expand, but start somewhere so that you can do what? So that you can supply the demand without having all these different flavors all over the place. All right? I'll help you out twice. All right? All right. Bless you, sister.
Okay.
All right.
Now, I have a comment for you.
Yeah.
When you were talking about that castle, my niece is married to a guy that's from Ghana. It is called Elmina Castle. It's in Elmina, Cape Coast in Ghana.
Yeah.
She was in there and she walked around through there and was showing videos. You see the outside of the castle is basically all white and it's brick floors. She said it was so thick in there that you can feel the death, you can smell the death, and you feel a sorrow. As soon as you step foot on the ground, you feel the sorrow from all the slaves and the prisoners that they have there. And you go in there and you can see it. The stains on the floor and on the wall, and where people were trying to dig their way out.
Yeah, I've heard about it. I've seen it. Even Gaj and them went there. Shapat went there. But what I'm saying is, who wants to remember that? Listen,
it's a horrible
what I'm saying is they need to pull that thing to the ground. That's what they need to do.
But see, the people over there in Ghana, they said they don't want to do that because they want to keep it as a reminder.
No.
Why would you want to keep a reminder of something so hurtful?
Listen, that's nonsense. No matter what they want to do it, it's nonsense. I couldn't imagine if it was Jews or anybody else that there would be a monument people can go to remembering what happened to their people real time with blood and ashes and everything. Who wants that crap? No.
Yeah, because it's hurtful.
No.
It's hurtful.
Pull that crap to the ground. Let people know that this is no representation. We're going forward from that. We're no longer reminded of that. We're charting a new direction for our people. outside of this crap building that was utilized politically to enslave our people. It's the wrong message. It's the wrong message. They need to just pull that thing. They need to implode that thing, and no one need to support that crap. Thank you, sister. Bless you.
All right. The water. All right.
I thought about it. I says, if anything, if you have that on the shores of your country as a monument, first of all, a public apology is due. Even though we turned out fine anyway, God had us. But then on top of that, you understand, not even an apology. Now you're going to financially aggrandize yourself and make that a tourist attraction? That's outright disrespectful. That's like us going down south with some willow trees where people hung from and say, you know what? Let me now make money off of these trees our people swung from. It's even worse than that. But I digress. Last call for this evening, and it's our last call before we break down. And thank you for all of you brothers and sisters always supporting the church. As you can see, if you want to support at any time, if these lessons have done anything for you, there's many ways you can financially support our church. $ GOCC 144 donate. Okay. If you have Cash App, you can donate to us this way. And this is strictly for the public broadcast. The one under that is strictly for church members. If you're tithing or whatever the case is and don't have a place to go to tithe, that's for that. But for the broadcast, it's the top one to support this work. Also, go to gatheringofchrist.org. If you don't have Cash App, there's many ways you can support the work. We need your support. And this way we can further the work and get to other areas and set up churches to wake up our people. Also, you can go to historytimes.org to enroll. Hebrew Bible Academy, there's nothing like it on earth. historytimes.org. Last call. Morris has a question. Yes, Morris.
I'd like to get baptized.
You asking how can you be baptized, Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Exactly. What area do you live in right now, Morris?
Houston, Texas.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold on. Let me get Rawchaa. Hold on, sir. Okay, I have Elder Rawchaa from Texas here. He's from Houston. Morris baptism.
Yeah.
Okay. How old are you? How old are you if you don't mind me asking, sir?
51.
51.
51.
All right, great. We need a brother like you. We need you. So all praises be to the Most High.
Yeah.
Okay, one moment. 0 82 518. All right. Okay, I just sent that to Elder Rawchaa. He'll be contacting you very soon. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Blessed and come into work and welcome to the body. There's a lot of work for you, sir, and we'll be glad to meet your acquaintance. Come into the kingdom, your brethren. Let's do this together.
Appreciate it.
All right. Bless you, my brother.
Will do.
All right.
All right.
Bless you. Now, that concludes our broadcast. Next week, I'm going to have a brother Aaron on, if we can, who can give us the experience of a whole church in Georgia that was converted. They was converted, and they all together kept the Feast of Tabernacles on the outside of what was once a pagan church. The whole church converted. A brother from the Gathering of Christ Church went in, converted the whole church, and they no longer are operating under satanic paganism any longer. A whole church then turned into the doctrine for the Gathering of Christ Church. All praises be to the Most High. And I'm going to see if I can get Aaron on next week to just a few minutes to let us know what steps were taken for that transformation. Also, again, I got a personal interview that I put up there. Of course, we were interviewed by a newspaper, and it's on Patreon, 3 separate parts. If you would like to see that, go to Patreon.com/agathering144. It can be seen. You have to see the testimony on Patreon initially. We're going to see eventually if, based on what the guidelines are here on YouTube, whether or not we can put it all into one down the line and edit what we can't show you here and put it on YouTube eventually. But right now you have to see that on Patreon. With that, I'm going to say, Elder Lawya, you good?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Elder Lawya, and let's keep our prayers up for Brother Dwayne and lift up the family in prayer all over the UK and the world for our brother Dwayne, one of the twins. May the Most High keep him and protect him and heal him if it be the Most High's will, and have the Most High give strength to him and his family in such a time. A pillar in this church. Make sure we lift up our prayers for his family, Elder Lawya.
Absolutely.
And I pray that the Most High is with you all. Stay prayed up, sin not, and keep in mind the Most High is calling back Israel. Have a good night, brothers and sisters. Shalom.
The East is where we're from. The 12 tribes of Israel. In 721 BC, the Assyrian king, he took us down, we fell. With a great escape we went through the Euphrates. The Lord held the water still. To a land where no mankind dwelt, we went. The 12 tribes of Israel. That's who we be, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, and Valley from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel. Zebulon from Panama, Gad, the North American Indians, Simeon, the Dominicans. The highest gathering Israel. The Arabs and Africans told us. At gunpoint. Together our wives and children then sold us. In the belly of these great ships we traveled in fear. By the rivers of Babylon we found our brothers here. A high gatherer. Asher in Colombia. Reuben from Australia. Issachar, the Mexicans. A highest gathering Israel. Judah, the Negroes. Benjamin, the West Indians. Levi, the Haitians. A highest gathering Israel. Reuben from Australia, Issachar, the Mexicans. That's who we be. Judah, the Negroes, Benjamin, the West Indians, Levi, the Haitians, Manasseh, the Cubans, Ephraim from Puerto Rico, and Valley from the Isles of Hawaii. The Lord is calling back Israel.